Hello everyone.
What's going on?
How are you? Welcome back. Today's video is about now. Okay, what does it take to maintain a happy and healthy marriage?
Lots of money. No.
That might be for some people, but not for all of us.
No, I'm just joking with the viewers out there.
I'm having a moment.
I think one of the things, just one, that it takes to maintain a happy and healthy marriage, and this is gonna be a subject. This is gonna be a topic that can jump into almost anything. Number one is definitely gonna be communication. It has to be rock solid communication between you and your spouse. We all know nobody's perfect, so if something slips through the crack, that's one thing. But like things that are avoided and intentional, those tend to come back and cause issues. So I'm gonna say my little input is communication. Definitely going to help assist, develop, maintain, and grow that relationship. And sometimes people, it's hard for them to communicate from past experiences. Like they might feel like, well, I used to communicate all the time and nothing was received. So now they don't want to do any communicating. Or they were lacking in communication and now all they want to do is just talk. And the other person is like, hey, I'm trying to take this all in, but it's too much. You might want to tone it down a little, as we say, but definitely communication. And I don't mean like the communication where it's like every little thing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's nice to share things with your partner, but what I'm saying is like, I just, pluck my finger. I don't think my wife need to know that I pluck my finger, but the important stuff, hey, look, this finances, the budget, raising the children, those are things that all need, and then don't forget the intimacy between you and your partner for communication purposes. And what I mean by intimacy, I'm not talking about what you might be thinking is, but
what I was thinking.
Well, what I'm saying is that, there's times like pillow talk. We always say pillow talk. So when everything is tuned out and shut off and shut down, you had your conversations about your professional career there during the day. You had conversations about the activities. What about the, hey, how are you really feeling today? You know what I'm saying? My wife and I started doing something. She actually brought it up that in the mornings, we're going to engage each other. We're going to talk about our affirmations. We're going to pour into each other right before the day starts. And as we're winding down, we're going to go over those things and we're going to, see if any of those things that we spoke of earlier manifested. And we're going to share with each other. And that opens up a whole new ballpark of, because people were like, well, I don't have anything to say to my wife. It's like, you stop talking. You just stop talking. There's plenty to say. And there's plenty to say.
Like, basically, from what he's saying, in the morning, before we entertain anything else or anyone else, we turn towards each other. Well, we say our prayers. To thank God. That's number one. To thank God to see another day of life and, protection and guidance for our family, so on and so forth. We just say our prayers. And then from there, we turn towards each other and ask, how did you sleep? What's your plans for today? Is there anything that you need help with? Or, do you believe you're going to accomplish it? Yes or no, and why? Why not? And also, little things like, okay, is there something that I could do better to help engage or to help in the process of whatever that's needed throughout that day? And just showing each other, hey, I got your back. I'm here for you, and you can talk to me if there's anything that needs to be changed, rearranged, especially in schedules. And
because hers is always changing.
Yeah. So it's like, in the morning, we know we're mentally prepared and we got each other's back. And even we pray and we turn towards each other and do that. Then once we get situated and we're ready for our day, we have a book of prayers, and it gives us like a paragraph of information, and we read that together every morning. At least we try to read it every morning, but we make it that we interact and we start our day on a positive note. And even if something did arise throughout the day, we know we could come home and we're able to talk to each other about it. Was the issue resolved? And if not, what is the solution versus sticking to whatever the problem is and complaining about the problem when we could just try to rectify whatever it is. And
put more energy into solutions than feeding the issue.
Exactly. No negativity. If something negative comes, you just say, okay, what's the solution? How to resolve it? Don't waste your good energy on that problem. Put the energy into a solution. So we also, like you said, communication is key. It's not going to be perfect all the time, but as long as your partner is willing to listen, and whoever is, willing to communicate, say, hey, we need to communicate more, or this is the issue, and other person is willing to receive. So it has to be on both sides. It can't be one-sided because it would not work. Okay? It would not work. Yeah. So what else do you think?
Well, you said something as far as in the morning when we prep ourselves. You said having each other's backs, right? Now, that can be in the physical. You could be like, hey, I'm supposed to protect, my wife. I'm supposed to protect her. I'm supposed to support her. Protection and support are two different things. I'm supposed to have her back and support her. Like, her schedule is just all over the place. So I have to support her when she's not available. Maybe, let's say, planned on having dinner and she's going to be late. Am I going to just sit here and be like, well, I'll just wait, knowing that she's put in 10, 12, 14 hours?
Oh, yeah.
No, I support. So I ask, hey, what is it that you want to eat?
Yeah.
So, because I might not be the best cook, but I can cook. So that's the difference. I can cook, So supporting her so that when she comes in, she doesn't have to then take off her career, persona, and now I'm mom role, or I'm wife in the house, I'm wife in the kitchen. No, that's, we can take some of that responsibility, and don't be ashamed of it, man. I'm not getting on the man. Just don't be ashamed of that, man. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of brothers out there that know how to cook and don't mind sharing, some responsibilities with your helpmate. The physical aspect. I'm not trying to bring up a scenario that happened today, but there was a scenario that happened today which needed my attention. And I wasn't going to allow my wife to be put in a position where someone's going to try to take advantage of her, because a lot of people will do that. They'll do that. The fair maiden in distress type thing, and try to take advantage of it. And I'm not about that. I'm not gonna let anybody or anything try to come up against, especially when she's in the right. I'm gonna support her. Speaking of when she's in the right, even if she's in the wrong, I don't embarrass her. We don't do that. We can have, there's plenty of rooms in this house, or plenty of places that you can take your spouse, pull them to the side, talk to them. They might not have understood that they were, doing something that didn't line up with what you. So it's like, because I try not to say she's wrong. I just say that didn't line up with the intent. So let's have a conversation about it. But I just feel it's like, today's situation needed addressed, and you know, sometimes men, you know, when we do show up to support our queens, it's beneficial. It shows them that we love them. You know, we're not gonna let anybody come out their pocket and disrespect and be rude. And I'm all for, you know, showing support in that, you know, aspect of making sure that she knows my husband has my back, not just verbally, but if stage presence needs to be there, then I'll be the actor for that day. If you know.
True indeed. Yeah, I actually did a video a little while ago that basically stated some of the things that women, you know, would like in a relationship: to feel wanted, appreciated, loved, protected, and the relationships I've been in the past, it was more of me teaching versus me it going both ways. To say, well, I'm teaching him stuff, he's learning from me, and I'm learning a lot from him. It was one-sided, and after a while you get bored with that. But if you're able to teach each other something, that helps. And don't ever say, okay, you're smarter than me, you're this and that. You're both put together for a reason, and you educate each other. You teach each other, hey, you know more about this subject or whatever situation than I do, I can learn from you. And another thing, don't ever belittle or degrade, call each other names, curse at each other, yell at each other. If you are upset, still show love and respect towards your spouse, because if you come out of pocket and say something out of pocket, that's forever held in their mind, and in their heart. Exactly. And regardless of how much you guys make up, they will always have it in the back of their mind, hey, I remember
that's how that person feels about me.
Exactly. No matter what. So you got to be mindful of your words. Let me tell you, they say the tongue is sharp, deadly. The mouth.
Yeah, the mouth holds the power. The tongue holds the power of life and death. You can speak life into your spouse, or you can speak curses and death. We don't speak death and curses, you know, because you can't speak death and curses on your spouse when you want to enlarge your territory. It doesn't work that way. You know, the Bible says that, you know, that a house divided shall not stand. So you have to be in alignment with your partner. And we know, like, you know, I don't want you to think that we walk on water. No. We have our times,
but we
learn, we work at it, we adjust, we transition, and we get back on track. And the good thing is that when you figure you learn something, you don't just learn it for that season. You learn it so when it presents itself again, you'll know how to deal with it, and you can just continue to move forward. So those side tracks and stumbling blocks, and we trying our best not to, what is the word I'm looking for?
Basically go back.
Yeah, we don't want to recount those ways. We just want to, like, no, let's.
And plus, if you want better, and you have kids, you want your kids to see you doing things a different way versus doing like, for example, if you have family members that's just stuck and comfortable in certain ways that's not what you're practicing, what you're doing, it's difficult, because it's like you're fighting a battle, but you gotta say to yourself, hey, set the example. Be that person that shows them physically how, it should be done, not just words. So
actions.
That's another thing.
Those actions, and that might be hard. That another thing, like we just said, all your little energy sparks are just fun. You said, your family and stuff, so you do have to show that, because you gotta understand, once you find your mate, you find your spouse, your husband, your wife, that person is now integrated in your family, and you're integrated in their family. And families can be tough, you know. Families can be tough. They can be judgmental. They can, you know, she's nothing like your last date that you had, or he don't even match up to you. But it's not about that. It's about the relationship that you and your partner have. So sometimes you have to check your family, and that can be painful, you know. But out of respect for your wife or your husband, those are necessary things that you have to do to stand up for them. Now,
exactly. You hit that.
Yeah,
I'm
not saying
stick
like,
up for
yeah, you gotta stick up
for your spouse. For me, people know I don't play, because when it comes to foolishness or even joking, saying something disrespectful, out of pocket, I quick fast shut people down. And that's why a lot of people kind of feel a certain way towards me, because I don't tolerate the nonsense. I don't joke about my husband. I ain't joking about kids. I'm not joking about grandkids. I'm not joking about nothing. So the same energy I give to defend my husband and our household, even the ones that's not in the household, you know, your husband should do the same for you. Because let me tell you, I love my mama. She knows not to cross no line. Oh yeah.
And it's just like, you know, you don't, you know, Bible tells us not to entertain folly.
Yeah.
So we just don't engage in it. You know, it's like, I would honestly, you know, it's easier for me just to talk about it once. And that's just addressing it. Anything else that comes after that, that person is having a pity party with themselves. I'm not invited. I'm not going to that. You know. So, you know, like I said, family is one thing, and to the point where, you know, because we all want our families to get along. You know, everybody wants, but it's just sometimes it just doesn't boil down to be that way. So just remember, you know, your spouse, your wife, you know, your mother and your father, they birthed you, you're here. You do respect them, you love them, you know, you honor your parents. But the Bible also says, you know, when a man finds a wife, he leaves his parent, he cleaves on her. So I have to show her respect. I have to show her that I love her, and she comes first. Now, what I mean by she comes first is like her needs are before she's in this house. She's established in this house. She's the queen of this house. She's the matriarch of this house. So in this house, I have to show that she's number one over the kids, over the dogs, over the, you know what I'm saying, in this house. Outside of this house, when we travel and we go to somebody else, we are respective of other people.
Oh, yeah.
But she's still my priority, if that makes any sense to you. So I respect my parents, but she's my priority. And, you know, when you start putting other people over that, next thing you know, you start realizing that, you know, I'm just gonna push her over there. See that little gap right there? That's a tall tale sign. A smoke, that big of a gap, a thumb, is enough for anything to try to come in between, try to cause division. So make sure that you, like you said, have your spouse's back, support them.
Oh, yeah. Support.
Make sure that they're respected in all aspects. And unfortunately, again, sometimes that can separate things, but as long as you understand that your playbook is unmatched,
exactly.
Because at the end of the day, it's our plans that we're trying to break cycles. You know, like if they don't want to, hey, that's not my problem. I am trying to. She is trying to. We are trying to break cycles so that the future generation does not have to continue holding on to those hopes. You get tired of that. You reach a certain age where you're just like, no, that foolishness, I'm tired of seeing it.
Exactly.
And reproductive over and over and over again. It's like, when does it end? Buck stops here. Buck stops here.
And there's also the point of, this is another one. It goes for anyone in a relationship or a marriage. If you and your spouse are going through a hard time, yes, you know, you could express it to your family, but not every single thing, unless it's something that's violent and dangerous, because of course they need to know, and you need to get out that situation. But anyway, you be careful and mindful of how you express yourself to your family, because then your family will turn against your spouse, and that's all they know is those every single time you have a bad time with your spouse. That's all they know about them. So if you were to call them about the good things that goes on, not about every single bad thing that goes on, just because you want to be complaining about something because you didn't have your way, get your way, or you guys had a disagreement. There's nothing wrong with talking with your family, but just don't go over and beyond. That's it.
Well, let me ask you a question, because you just brought something up. How you feel about it? And I see it. I can tell when couples are at each other's throats, because social media has just allowed, like, it's a venue. I don't even, you know what? Let me just say this one thing. We're gonna get ready. My grandmother used to watch soap operas when I was coming up and stuff like that. I remember she used to watch. And I'm not gonna name them. I'm pretty sure that there's plenty enough out there that you can recall a soap opera. So my grandmother used to watch soap operas, so much drama and suspense, and and all this other stuff. And it's like, and now social media is just all 24/7 access. Soap opera, drama. You know when somebody's arguing, subliminal messages they'll drop. Spouses is, I'm just going off the top of my head. Watch out for women, because women are like, apples falling from trees. And I'm like, what are you like? Huh? Like. But then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, this man is talking about something that his wife did, and then you'll see her post, and it'll be like, I wouldn't be like an apple if the snake didn't deceive. It's like, they beefing. I really think that you should keep that off of social media. Nobody wants to. I mean, we get enough with the stars and stuff. Like, every time you turn around, certain stars in the media and just explain. And I'm like, we got to be better than that. Because like I said, pulling your spouse to the side and having a conversation instead of running off and telling. Because now, once you put something on there, everybody knows.
Oh yeah.
And your perfect marriage that you had in front of everybody, it's now an illusion. It looks like an illusion to people. They're like, okay, well, you know what? I know what this is going on. And, I just think that there's a time and place. Like, I try on social media, I try to show the best of my wife. What I mean by that is, hey, we went out and she's looking great. Like, hey, this is my wife. And it's not like a showpiece thing. It's just that you want people to, you want her to feel like, yeah, he appreciates me. I'm not showcasing her or nothing like that.
And not hiding me either.
And yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you married? Didn't know you was married. like yeah,
bro.
So you wanna be able to have some exposure, but to an extent. You don't want nobody should know that what my water bill looks like. My wife, she might like to take long showers, so nobody should know what the water bill looks like. Y'all feel me out there? She knows that I practically like try to repair a lot of stuff around here. Nobody should know what the Lowe's credit card statement look like. That's our information. That's our personal.
Yeah, that's too much detail.
TMI, so just keep it to a minimum. Make sure you supporting your spouse on social media, but not to the point that everybody knows everything.
Every single step. Every single thing. No, I agree with that. And when some people, they get into their little whatever they get into, and they post back and forth, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, the best solution would be to go to each other and communicate. But then you realize it's obvious and apparent they're not able to communicate with each other. Either one is yelling or hollering or cussing, or the other one just don't want to listen or hear what the other person is saying. So they feel, if I put it on social media, I bet you hear it and see me now. Instead of saying, let's
somebody's gonna know my side of the
exactly. Instead of saying, let's see how to resolve this issue.
They probably be sitting in separate rooms. Like, let me hurry up, get my side out first before the truth needs to be told. Like, no, it's rectify that where there's no need to run to social media.
Exactly.
And keep it all, conversations.
To listen, be open to communicate, to receive and to give.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way. If not, things would go, as you can see, the soap opera, Facebook soap opera, which is annoying sometimes, but whatever.
That stuff will, I'm gonna be honest with you, too much. I skim
follow people.
I skim through Facebook now. I remember when I first signed up for it, and I was like, wow, this is interesting. I can communicate with people far and near, and I'm always in touch. And then, and for a moment it was a good thing, and now I look at it because I don't think that it's not grown its expectations. I really feel as though it was streamlined and geared towards what it's doing right now as a platform. But people are just so sensitive in certain areas that it's like, you can see anything on. I can get flagged for posting a video that's positive, right? But I've seen things that are X-rated on Facebook, and I'm like, how's this not getting taken down? Daggone, like, it's a shame when you think about it. So you just got to be careful when you're, on that platform. Don't get sucked into it, because not everything is what it seems. Fantasy.
It's fantasy.
You could be anybody on Facebook.
Facebook is really fantasy land. So Wonderland, Fantasyland, make stuff up land like Wikipedia. Just anybody can put anything out there and people believe it. So
how you feel about finances? Like sharing
finances.
Not just finance, not just sharing finances, but like financial information. You understand what we have as a whole. How do you feel? Do you feel that's important for couples that actually have? Because we talked about in our last video, finances is one of the number one reasons for divorce. We didn't really get into the weeds, but I think we need to we might need to address a little bit more today.
Well, I highly believe that you should open up and communicate with your spouse pertaining to that, at least for married couples, a little beforehand. So you're able to see what is what you're facing and what you're looking into. Who basically, will be the one to pay off whatever bills and budget together, because I can speak for us. He knows how much I make. I know how much he makes, and we sit down and talk about bills and how we're going to pay off certain things. And also, we decided to follow Dave Ramsey, which I introduced my husband to it because I feel it's a great way to be able to sit down and communicate more effectively pertaining to our finances in the house and budgeting. So I have the book, and we're able to sit down, look through it, and do the every dollar and everything else like that, just to help us. We know how to budget. We know how to do whatever is needed separately. Mm-hmm. So now we're together, we're married. We know how to work together doing it versus doing it separate. So,
and you be surprised, like you think that, I know how to budget over here and she does, and when we get together this is gonna be this collective. You really have to sit back and wait a minute, what
calculate?
Yes, because some people don't take the time out. I know people that's been married for years and they have separate accounts, refuse to allow one another, and then if they have an aha moment, the light bulb comes and like, man, we've been wasting finances. We could have been doing this together, and it's so much easier instead of, okay, well, the bill's coming out, you pay it.
Yeah.
Well, okay, well, that's coming out of her account. Or the bill's coming out, I'll pay it. What's coming out? But if it's a joint, I might say, well, it's the same money. Yes, it is, but then again, it's not. It is the same money. It's the same, cash pot, I would say.
Once you're married, you're one.
But it's all one, and it's like, you already know I can streamline this and I can do this. So it's not like, neither one of us don't have access. We both have access to it. And again, communication comes into play.
No hiding of how much you make or what you bring in or what you buy on the side, what you buy for this and that. It's like you have to. It's not saying, oh, someone's trying to be in control. No, and that's people that say, oh, that someone's trying to be in control are actually like scared and basically don't want to do it. So don't let them fool you into that mess. It is you are joined as one and you're a team. So anything that enters out the household budget-wise should be explained, whether it's a pair of shoes or a daggone whatever, or dog treat, or even like for me and my husband, we have a blended family with kids. If he decides, hey, I need to buy some stuff for, our son, hey, I'm going to buy something for our son, whether it's shoes, a haircut, whatever. That's money that's going to exit out. So I need to incorporate that in the budget to be like, okay, you're sending shoes or hats or something to your son over there. Okay, well, we just got to factor that in and just see what we do. So it's all about working together as a team. When it comes, yes,
and transparency.
Exactly,
transparency.
And if you really love someone, you really serious about a relationship, all this shouldn't be a problem. Because that means that you want to do better, get better, and you want to be a real team player with that person.
I think because I'm agreeing with what you're saying as far as shouldn't have a problem. I want to just put a note out there. There are going to be some people that are going to see it as a problem. I cannot definitely say that this is you, but you may have an issue with it if you've been in a situation similar and you got burnt. And you don't feel as though I can trust this person with the finances. If you're the primary person who's just making everything and you're now you lost my money now because you've been single for a while and you just don't want to give that trust to anybody. And it takes time, it's like when she first introduced you to me, I was like, well, I know what you're making, you know what I'm making, why we just can't, keep things separate. And then the more I looked at it and we sat down and worked over a plan, like I said, the bing, I was like, oh my God, and if you trust that person, what's the problem? What's the problem? And we still have, and here's the cool thing, we still have individual accounts, we still put things into there individually, but our main focal point, the one that we know that we exercise all the time, that's something that I can pull this app up right now and be like, whoop, and I know exactly what she's holding and she knows exactly what I'm holding. And it's not it's not like hey, you had $30 in your bank yesterday, you minus 30. What happened? Well, it's
and some people feel some sort of way if you do have a joint and separate. Let me tell you, the joint account we utilize more for household things, things that need to be taken care of, than the single accounts. I ask my husband, hey, you want to go lunch? Let's go eat. And I will treat my husband. I will treat, our son. Exactly. Because we know how much we budget in the joint account and we have for leftover in the single account for ourselves to be like, well, you know what? I just want to surprise my husband today and get him a card.
I like cards.
Yeah, he does. He has
a slew of cards.
You name it. Just something to show appreciation, so.
And then you also have to take into account, because we have, when we say like joint account, that's at like one institution. But there are multiple institutions because we have, as you've been following for a while, we have a lot of businesses. So we have accounts that are, spread across. And, so it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to do something from this account, and I still let her know, like when I do, Smart Tactical, I'm just going to bring that up real quick. If I do Smart Tactical, I do any type of training or coaching, mentoring or sales or whatever, I let her know, hey, I had a student today. she knows. She knows what my, income is coming in for that. Hey, I sold 7 shirts today. She knows exactly, what it. So I cannot sit there and be like, well, I sold 5 shirts, but I only made $15. She's gonna automatically be like, okay, well, she got jokes, So, but again, it's not hiding anything. It's sharing, so she has an understanding. She knows what's going on, and I know what's going on. Because if one of us has to make a decision, you don't want to make a decision based off of a possibility. You want it to be a sure bona fide thing. Yeah. And that's why you want to be able to convey messages and speak openly to your spouse and let them know, hey, this is the skivvy. This is what it is.
No, and there shouldn't be any secrets about it. No hiding about it. You should be upfront and honest. Because if someone really loves you, they'll tell you who you are, what you have, and don't have. Oh.
Because for me, it's not about money. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I made that joke in the beginning when I was like, money. No, it's not about money. Financial stability is just one portion, and a lot of people will be like, well, you can't survive off of love. We're not saying that, but what we're saying is like, everybody knows my wife's occupation. Everybody knows one of her occupations, should I say. It's like,
that's true.
It is like, so, yeah, too many, but, like, not enough in her eye, but I say, hey, but I digress because I don't want to suppress that drive in her. She wants to go out and start another business, and she lays it out and puts the business platform plan out there, and I'm like, hey, go for it. Just push what you want to do, because remember, it's about enlarging your territory and strengthening your fortress. You want to make sure that you have stability, a platform, so that when you exit this place, the ones behind you aren't like, well, we don't know, what to do. No, you have a foundation, son. You have a foundation, daughter.
And you've seen it done.
Mm-hmm. Now, especially if they're watching. And that's another thing. Don't be, man, you on fire today. She popping up everything. She said, like, they see a presentation. So they know how something is supposed to be done, but lead by example, right? You should be a billboard. If you drive down the highway, you see a little billboard, that's something like, why? Because a billboard catches your attention. Yeah. So you should be a billboard for your children, leading by the good example. And not just, what they see, but what they don't see. You have to do it when they're not looking too. So that way, when it's their time to take up the mantle and everything, they have a good understanding. They can, don't be afraid to share ideas when their mind starts thinking they can process it. Don't be afraid. Like we talk to our son, now, if you keep watching, I'm pretty sure he's going to streamline off one of these channels.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have
his videos.
Yeah, his videos
is coming out soon.
And we encourage him to he's 12, and we encourage him to be productive in those areas.
Exactly.
Do something positive in those areas, because you got kids nowadays, they can just pick up a cell phone or a tablet and they can do all types of, dancing and all that other stuff. And again, for you viewers out there, I'm not coming at you, but I'm just saying there's so much bandwidth out here to showcase more positive things, especially from our realm. It's like you want to showcase the great things, and somebody's going to get mad, but, I've been on the planet for a minute, so all the twerk videos and all that stuff, like, that's I want to see my wife says something, I educate, I want to learn from her. So if a 12-year-old, if I can watch a video of a 12-year-old doing something positive, getting selected to be, at the age of 12, getting selected to speak at a campus, or getting selected to speak at some university or some, political, platform or something. That's gonna pique my interest. Like, what is this 12-year-old doing? And it draws me in. When you're 12 and all the latest and greatest lyrics to nonsense that's on the radio, I start to look at you like, then I want to look at the foundation that's kind of surrounds you, and you know, my heart goes out to those circumstances. I saw a video, and I can't remember the guy's name. This kid is he's like 8 or 9 years old, dropping F-bombs like you wouldn't believe. And I'm like, and people are just, boosting them up. And again, I'm not coming at you, but you setting that young man up for failure.
Yep.
I don't care how you peel an onion or whatever. You could, because things right now is, it's about tangible. I need $1.
But you selling
that man's soul.
Yeah,
you selling his soul.
Just like back in Africa, the slaves, the people who sold their own people. So anyway,
I'm just saying it's
the same thing.
But back to this marriage thing, cause see, sometimes we can veer off, and I know, I'm pretty sure you've known us now.
Kids.
I'm sure you know us long enough now to be like, Rudy, going to left field.
No, but that's true. It's pertaining to kids as well. That you want to set the example, be the example. If you're going to preach it and teach it,
you gotta walk it.
You gotta walk
it.
So whatever you're saying, hey, you're not supposed to do this, or you're doing too much of that, you gotta show. You can't do the opposite, because then they look at you like, hey, you said I can't do it.
But here you are.
All up.
Here you are.
Just doing it. All
multiplied, like magnifying it.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they want to take you serious. So anything you try to teach them or place a seed in them, they're going to look at you like whatever. Exactly.
It's going to fall on thorny ground.
And then what happens? There's no respect. Yeah. They don't respect you. No.
So I think that another thing that couples should do, and if you haven't done this, and if you're watching this, we had a moment this time. Take some time out. We had a moment today. Take some time out if any moment that's free, even if it's a little bit, take some time out to spend with your partner. The situation that happened earlier today, we were going to, quick story, just really quick. We went and took my wife's vehicle to a service center, and this is based off a conversation that we had last month, where we scheduled an appointment to have them run diagnosis.
Just to make sure everything was good.
Everything is, when it's coming up, we want to make sure that functions is good and everything, because, based on her career, her profession, she's going to be out, she knows here where we at.
Exactly.
So I want to make sure that everything is good. But we were told that her appointment was today. When we get there, my wife gets there first, and I'm heading in, I'm following. And she calls me and she says, hey, they said that the appointment for today was the scheduled appointment for a later time. And that didn't make any sense to me.
Neither did it.
I'm like, you guys can't calculate the workload ahead of time. So at first I was like, okay, well, don't worry about it, just leave. And then that portion of I said, well, protect your spouse. I'm like, wait, just stay there. Because I want to know why they're telling you this. Like, this is not a good answer.
Nope.
So after we resolved the situation and everything, I was like, hey, let's go get something. I didn't want to end it on a negative note, because although we weren't out on a date or anything, it was still the experience between me and my wife. We went there as a team, although I showed up a little bit later because I was getting our son out, making sure he was heading out to school. She had to be there at a certain time. I said, I'll follow you. So although it didn't start out as that, we used that opportunity to debunk a negative situation.
Exactly.
And
don't hold on to it.
Just like, hey, let's go get something to eat. And we wound up going to Manitou Springs.
And that's another video that we're going to be posting.
Yeah, you definitely
look out for that video. Man, listen.
You definitely need to check that out. But it was a good experience. So like spend any moment of time that you have, any opportunity, whether it be big, small, even if it's 5 seconds, you know, make sure that you tell your spouse, your significant other.
Go up to your spouse, give them a kiss, rub on.
Yeah, give them some love.
Yeah.
Make sure that they know that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
And, hopefully you'll get it reciprocated. Reciprocity is big, it's really big. Because, like, some people...
Women, men tend to, play they old tough. Yeah, they are tough. They're our heroes and all that. And then some, But every now and again, or every day, give your husband a hug, a kiss, a little nudge, a little poke. They love that stuff.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
It feels good to be appreciated. You feel alive. And, some people might be like, oh, don't do that. I feel vulnerable. It's not about you feeling vulnerable. Some men might feel vulnerable, if their wife shows them too much. Yeah, but sometimes, and that's a general statement. Man, we can put on a costume and be everything. We fixers, builders, we always trying to resolve stuff. But sometimes at the end of the day, when everything is complete, where does that leave you? It just leaves you with yourself. And so it's good to have somebody there to support you, show you that, hey, they appreciate what you do, because I know there's some men out there that probably got treated like, hey, you supposed to build the doghouse. You supposed to, climb up on the ladder and hang the decorations. You take on too many you supposed to roles.
Hats.
Let me Bob the Builder hat now, the chef hat now, now I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. And the same thing for women,
because I had on a lot of hats.
Hat after hat.
And I had to learn to let go of some of them hats. And ladies, please and thank you. Like me, I was so used to fixing things and doing things on my own to the point where he's looking like, hello.
This is early in the relationship.
Man, like,
this is early in the relationship.
And what did you have to tell me?
Yeah, just let me be a man. You have to, because you have to understand. And I get it. I understand where she's coming from because, her previous relationships, she was always the lead, take charge, do whatever. And so that she was pretty much designed to be an alpha in that role model. I've always been an alpha mindset, like I said, I want to fix things, we want to resolve things. Those are alpha, like, hey, I'm in charge, but not to the point where I'm abrasive, but like I'm leading, allow me to lead. And so at first, and this is another thing that you said, understand your role in the relationship, understanding your role. My wife can be, I don't want to say a menace, but my wife, like if she sees something and she desires it, she's gonna go get it. There's nothing gonna stop her from doing it, right? I enjoy being with her because I'm like, okay, she's a go-getter that motivates me. Yeah. I know who I have on my team. I can, iron sharpen iron. I can run with that energy. She knows that I'm the same way. What am I saying by that? So, when I started seeing her being so aggressive towards things, and I'm like, you do realize that you have a man in your life now, right? And you don't have to hold on to all these things that you were doing. Like, it got to the point where I'm like, yeah, wait a minute, hold on, man. Yeah. Whoever pants you was wearing, because you're wearing mine, but whoever pants you was wearing, you get them back. You get them pants back. You no longer need those pants. And it took some time for her to, she's very delicate. She's my delicate flower. But she still had like thorns around her. She's still protecting herself. And I'm like, you don't have to be that way. You can, step off, take your foot off the accelerator. Yeah. Slow down a little bit.
That was hard.
And she, we both had to learn. Because here I am like, something as simple as like painting a wall, painting a wall where it was like, we chose some colors for the bathroom. We did the bathroom downstairs. Was that was that earlier this year? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier this year, we did the bathroom project downstairs. My wife and I agreed on this paint, this color scheme. When we went to the Hobby Lobby and we selected a lot of nice things, and it has its own theme and everything. So we already kind of figured out what it was gonna look like. So, you know, men, we kind of, we have all the tools, but sometimes men, you know, we kind of like, okay, we may have a tendency to be like, okay, I'll get to it, you know. And I came home, you know, one day and I'm like, everything was in the bathroom like it was about to get painted. And I'm like, this is not about to happen, not on my watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are not about, I understand, like, we both have a lot going on, but you're not about to sit up in here and do a task that we both agreed that I was assigned to do, regardless on the time. And so we wound up painting the bathroom, getting it done and everything, and then, you know, we hung accordance to the plan. Well, the second bathroom came up, which is our son's bathroom. We had already predetermined the colors and everything, and you know, all this stuff. I come in, half the wall, like it's a portion of the, and I'm like, no, you're not about, and I had to kick her out. I had to kick her out, you know, because she's so used to doing things, and I'm like, and it's not like a helpmate thing. It's like I'm gonna get it done because I feel it needs to be done. And I'm like, no, you're not about to do that.
It's a West India thing.
No, it's a because you.
That's how
I think any woman could say that. Like it's a. You're just saying, okay, it's a West Indian thing. I'm saying it is a. I've been utilizing myself. Not nobody has been utilized. I've been utilizing myself in this capacity for so long that I don't trust, and it was a trust thing, and it's not that she didn't trust me.
It's just like, ain't nobody got time to wait.
She's like, yeah, you know, it's like, will it get done?
Yeah.
If I allow him to do it. And it's not like she was testing, but everybody else had given this false indicator.
I end up doing it myself.
Oh, I gotta go out and do it myself. But I gotta pay the rent myself. I gotta pay them, you know, my bills, and I'm feeding everybody. And I had to explain
it by myself.
I had to explain to her, and that leads me up to this point. If you're gonna make a statement to your spouse, to your partner, if you're gonna say that you're gonna be in it for the long run, you have to make sure that. Because these are your credentials. This ain't me telling you to, you know, like nobody's forcing you to say these things. If you're gonna say those things, just own up to it. And that's where communication comes in, because if you see that you can't make something, but you've been doing it for quite some time, communicate to your spouse, because I guarantee you they're not gonna look at you sideways and be like, you supposed to be. No, because the talk is in there. Y'all are working as a team. You know, it's a unit. So it shouldn't be no issue where like, hey, you know what? We got it. We stable. So all we're going to do is do this. And we're going to keep on going on. And, you know, and so that's where effective communication comes into play.
Yes,
the inward.
That's how important it is. Very important.
Yeah. So I think we
covered some things
today.
And if we remember anything else, we'll come back to you guys.
Yeah, because we want to hear from you. We want to know. You can hit us down in the comments and let us know how you feel about some of the things that we talked about, or your experiences that you're either gone through or what you're going through right now with your spouse. You know, nobody's perfect. We always say, you know, we're not perfect. We just
learn and grow together.
We're always learning. If you're not learning every day, you're not applying yourself. It's
not easy. It's going to be hard to the point sometimes you're just like, oh my. But you just keep working together and keep pushing forward. That's it.
So on that note, I think we want to sign off, and you know, y'all have
see you next time. There's another video coming soon, and it's going to be pertaining to intimacy.
Physical, mental,
yes.
Okay, both sides of the house. All right.
That's right. You got to cover the entire house. You can't just have half a house.
I mean, yeah. Why not?
So see you soon. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back. Now today's video is about we do.
Blooper.
Hello everyone.
What's going on?
How are you? Welcome back. Today's video is about now. What qualities? I don't like that one. Let me think of something else.